What's up guys, I'm Andy from 1A Auto. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the dipstick tube on this 2001 BMW 325xi. If you need parts for your vehicle, click the link in the description and head over to 1aauto.com. I'm going to remove this piece. I just want to take some side cutters, remove these push pins. Be careful not to cut them. Pull that out. I'll just grab this, pull this aside. There is a couple of clips on there. If it's not coming out too easy, just take a straight blade screwdriver and push those in. Disconnect the mass airflow sensor and just push down. Wiggle the connector off, set that aside. Take a straight blade screwdriver, loosen up this worm clamp. Right there. Just like that. We can take that snorkel off right now. Next, I'm going to take these two 10mm bolts out. You could take this top cover up first if you want to unclip it, pull that off, pull the air filter out, but I'm going to keep that all together. Use a 10mm socket extension and an electric ratchet. If you don't have an electric ratchet, use a regular ratchet. Loosen these up. Take those two bolts out. And I can grab the airbox all as one and just slide it out. I'm going to take this cover off right here. Just take these clips, twist it to the side, just like that. Grab this and slide it out. This weather strip might be in the way. It should slide forward. Take the cabin filter out. It slides out as well. I need to remove these wires from this housing right here. You can either take the cover off or you can slide it up right there. I like to take this cover off. Just take a screwdriver, slide that off like that, pull that out of the way. Grab these wires, pull that down, pull this one down. Now I'm going to use a T30 socket extension and a ratchet, and I have 4 screws right there. Take those off. So it's all loose. Just slide this panel up, slide it out of your way. I'm going to take this intake snorkel off. I want to take these 2 hoses off right here. You can just grab them, twist them, slide it out. Could use a little pick in there if you're struggling to get this off. All right, just go around like that, then you should be able to twist it off. It should come off a little bit easier. And if you have hose pliers, you can use hose pliers. Always makes it a lot easier. Take that off. So there's a hose that slides off this intake tube right here. So there's 2 different hose clamps that I have to remove. This one, and then the one that's further in there. It's kind of hard to see. So I'm just going to take a pocket screwdriver, slide underneath here, try to get on it, and loosen that hose clamp. You'll be able to see it a little better once I get this snorkel out. It was actually a little bit easier to take a 6mm socket, an extension, and a ratchet and loosen that worm clamp up like that. Now I'm going to put it on a longer extension. I'm going to try to get this one out. If not, I'm going to have to use a screwdriver. Use the ratchet, 6mm socket. Try to get this to loosen up. All right, so those are both loosened up. Just grab it, wiggle it a little bit, twist it back and forth. Make sure you don't rip it. And slide it out, just like that. We want to take the dipstick tube out. There's a bracket right here that has a retainer that holds this vacuum line, and then also the fuel line right here. Just slide the fuel line out, just pop it out like that. And then this little bracket, I'm just gonna take some needle nose pliers and just pinch this together, push it through. A little bit tricky to get in there, but there we go. Push that through. And then there's a bolt down here that's going towards the front of the vehicle. So we're gonna take a 13mm socket and a ratchet. If you have a flex head ratchet, that would help out. All right, so I was able to break it free. If you struggle with this, you can try breaking it free with a wrench. It's just really tight in there. All right, so take that bolt out. All right, so I'll just take a right angle pick, try to get in underneath it. And just go around the hose, loosen up that seal. It's kind of made a seal, and that's what makes it stick to the hose. Now with that loosened, I should be able to twist this. Yep, and pull it off. There we go. Grab the dipstick tube and just slide it out. All right, so we got the dipstick loose. What we want to do is take this cover off right here because we can't get the dipstick to slide any further up. So loosen this up right here. Take that off. Take this weather stripping off right here. Slide this up. Slide this wire out of the way. Oops, that fell down. Just make sure these hoses are not attached. Slide the hoses out of the way. We should be able to slide this cover back. Watch out for this vacuum hose right here. And it slides out pretty easily. So then you can slide the dipstick up. A little bit easier to get that out. And there you go. I would recommend taking this cover out before you started taking the dipstick out. It'll give you a little bit more room in there and it'll be less of a struggle for you. Where the dipstick hole is, where it goes into the engine, there's an actual O-ring there. It's a good idea to replace that O-ring if possible. You're gonna have to use a pick and try to pick it out and just make sure it doesn't fall into the engine oil pan. But ours looks okay, so I'm not going to. But if you end up with you could end up with a vacuum leak afterwards or even an oil leak. So just keep that in mind if you're pulling the dipstick tube out. Right, so with a new O-ring, or take the old O-ring out of the engine, just slide that up there. And you can lubricate this with some white lithium grease or some engine oil. Now just line this up in position. These coolant hoses kind of get in the way a little bit. Kind of got to move those out of the way. And then slide that down. Just like that. All right, push that dipstick down. Make sure it goes down all the way. What you could do is take a mirror and just check the bracket. Make sure the bracket's lined up with the bolt hole. Sometimes that can be tricky. Just make sure you lubricate the O-ring and you should be able to get it. Now I'm gonna put the bolt in, just gotta get it lined up. All right, now I'm gonna tighten that bolt down. I'm actually gonna use a 13mm swivel socket and an electric ratchet. If you don't have a swivel socket or an electric ratchet, you can use a regular one. There's not a lot of room to work back here. So I'll just tighten this up, snug it down. I'll go back with a wrench. Just use a 13mm wrench and just snug it. You could use a ratchet wrench also. There we go, that's good. So here's the other end of that breather or the drain hose. And we're gonna slide that onto the dipstick tube right here. There we go. And just slide it all the way on. And that's good. Now I did take this bracket off before I put the dipstick tube on. This is just gonna hold the fuel line. So I'm just gonna reinstall that. Just slide that back into the bracket on the dipstick tube. Right there. It's kind of hard to see. And then slide the fuel line back in there. So if these hoses got in your way, you could remove this bracket when you were doing the dipstick. So just reinstall this, slide these hoses back in, and then this will slide right over here. That's good. Next, before I install this panel right here, it is going to be significantly easier to install this snorkel. So we're going to install this now. When we took it out, we did it the other way, but it's a lot easier to get this in. Just line this up. Make sure your worm clamps are on there. And from up here, I'm just going to use a screwdriver, straight blade screwdriver, and tighten up that worm clamp that goes on that top port of the snorkel. Snug that up, and then do the same with the bottom one. So we're going to take these vacuum lines. One goes to the top. This comes right off the intake right there, and then this one comes from underneath there. So install that. That's good. Now we'll take this cover, slide this over here. If you struggle with this, you can pull the brake booster hose off, get a little more room. There we go. That lined up. So it's actually one of these push twist retainers that hold this in. So we'll just get that lined up, push it in. Oh, yep, so that's good. You may have one over here. This vehicle did not have one there, so keep that in mind. And we'll take this vacuum hose that goes to the brake booster, line this up right there, reinsert it into the booster. And then same with this wire, just slide this right there. Now we can take the weather strip, get this lined up, just like that. Install the dipstick. You can reinstall the airbox, get it back in position. Move this clamp over here. Install these two bolts here and here. Take a 10mm socket, extension, and ratchet. Tighten these bolts up. Just snug. That's good. Use a straight blade screwdriver. Tighten up this worm clamp. Snug, and plug this connector in to the mass airflow sensor. Lock it in place. Take this intake, put this back through the airbox, clip it in place, take the push pins, get these lined up. I'm just going to get them all started first and then lock them down. Lock it down. All right, now we want to install this. Just get this lined up. You can get these screws started. Now I'm going to take a T30 socket extension and a ratchet, tighten these up. Now reinstall these wires in this cover right here. Just like that. Take this cover, line it up. And that's good. Take the filter. We're gonna slide it in with the curved side towards the vehicle. So the bowed side more towards the out of the vehicle. Just slide that in position, like that. We'll take this cover. It's gonna just slide in underneath this weather stripping. Just push it in. Get these lock tabs to line up and lock them down. They're spring loaded. And the last one. And you're good to go.
Thanks for watching. Visit 1AAuto.com for quality auto parts shipped to your door, the place for DIY auto repair. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button.